What?
In numerical order.
Oh my gosh, no.
What? Numerical
What?
order.
Numerical operations. Order of operations. What's your order of operations? Yes. What does the P stand for? Parentheses, exponents, my dear Aunt Sally. So multiplication and division, those are all together. Addition and subtraction are together. So when we're evaluating this expression, we have to do what first? Parentheses. We just went over it. The parentheses. Okay, all right. We have to do parentheses first. Inside parentheses, you have to restart your order of operations. Okay, so we do the 3 plus 5, we get 8 squared. Let's leave our brackets on it. And everything else is going to stay the same. Okay, now what do we do?
You do the 64.
The exponents. So 8 squared would be 64. Now what do we do? Now we start over and we got parentheses again. 64 divided by 4 is? Really? No, it's not. It's not 24. 16 times 2. Which is what? 32. Okay. Now what do we do on number 7? We do parentheses, but there's no parentheses, but there kind of is. The top and the bottom are like separate things that we have to be doing parentheses in. So 20 plus 4 times 3. Order of operations, what do we do first? Hope so. A lot of people won't. 20 plus 12. And then on bottom, okay, so we get to be 4. Now it says evaluate the expression. A bunch of stuff here. If A is negative 8, B is 2/3, C is 9, D is negative 6. When you have a problem, it tells you the values of different numbers, and then it gives you an expression. Okay, rewrite the expression, but for every letter that you're going to substitute for, put a parenthesis first. So here's D's box. There's for B, plus 4. This is for C, divided by, this is for A, plus, this one's for C. Now we go back and we put the numbers in their place. D, negative 6. B, 2/3. C, 9. A, negative 8. C, 9. Now we can evaluate. Negative 4 plus 9 times 4 is 6. Good job. Negative 8 plus 9. There's no multiplication here. So what does that become? 1. So putting something over 1 is not going to change it. Basically, we figure out what the top is, and we're done. It's 32. So when you distribute 2 times 3t minus 5, you've got to multiply the 3t times 2, you get 6t, and multiply the negative 5 times 2, and you get negative 10. Then over here, you take the negative with it when you multiply. Negative 3 times 4t be a negative 12t, and then negative 3 times a positive 1 would be a negative or minus 3. That's what you should get as your first step when you distribute. You got to take this sign in front of this 3 along with it. The 6t and the negative 12t are alike. And then we have the negative 10 and the negative 3. Those are both constants. And all your minus 13. Now we have two terms. So it stays that way. Very good, Michael. It stays that way. Here we have distribution with fractions. Michael, what's 2/3 of 6?
So we get a drink of water.
So then, let's collect our like terms first.
4W minus
And so what do you write?
W
Just, no, write the 1
plus 8. Oh, 4.
plus 4.
3.
Okay,
Minus 2.
good.
3.
Almost perfect. Negative times a negative, positive 3n. Your like terms have to have the same variable, m, that's right. And then what? Minus 3n. That's right. Yeah, but what's the first step? What's the first step?
12x.
Negative 9.
9.
Minus 9. Now what do you do over here?
Minus 1. Plus,
Not minus 1,
no, negative.
negative x plus 7. Then your x terms, minus 2.
Yeah.
2/3 times 3x will be 2x. 2/3 times negative 6y will be negative 4y. What's 3/2 of 4? How'd you do it?
6.
How'd you get it? 3 times 4, 12. Divided by 2, 6. That's right. Yeah, you can do 2 divided by 2 and then times 3. 1 times 3. Or you can do 3 times 2.
3 times 2 plus.
No, divided. Because any division is, fractions are division.
Oh, so it would be 3.
3 times 2 and then divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3.
3.
Then we collect our like terms, our x types. What do we get?
8x.
Y types, 4 negatives and 3 positives. So this one is going to be the smallest. Okay, this is going to be the next smallest. Ay. And then, well, that's going to have to go away. After that is 0. So when you're in the negatives, it works backwards. The bigger it looks, the smaller it actually is when you're negative. In the negatives, the bigger it looks, the smaller it is. Well, 0.3 is like a 0.30. It's like a 30 when you're comparing it to a 0.22. And then the dependent is going to be the cost. So if we start out here, and our dependent always goes over here on the y-axis, cost. And our independent goes down here, number of items. We don't have to put specific numbers on this graph. Just in general, as the number of items increases, the cost decreases. So this is, back this way is when we have few items. This way is when we have a lot of items. This way is a low cost. This way is a high cost. So fewer items, higher costs. And then as the number of items increases, our cost is going to decrease. So we have to define what very short means. If it's a girl, very short is probably about 6 inches.
2.5 inches.
My hair might be,
And then starts to grow again.
I don't know.
So your independent is time. Time is always independent. And dependent is the length of the hair. Is equals 38 more than, what is more than?
Plus.
38 plus 8 times the number.
So 8 items. So where the season at?
More than 8 times the number,
8 times X.
which is 8x. What is the number? What is x? So the equation we'll say is 10x equals 38 plus 8x. How do we find x? This first step.
So it's 21.
So the x would be 19.
Oh, I went wrong.
No, 3/5 of a number is 1. So how do I find the number? Yeah, but what's the value of x? Not subtract. This is going to be the last step. Multiply or divide. If we multiply this by 5/3, what's 3/5 times 5/3? Over, which is what we want. 15 over 15 is 1 over 1, which is what we want. So if we can multiply by 5/3, we get 1x. But we can't just multiply the left side by 5/3 without doing the right side by 5/3. So 1 times 5/3 is 5/3. Remember something else from one day to the next. Very good. First thing you do on 29 is you have to get rid of your parentheses. You have to multiply by 5 across both terms inside parentheses. So 5t minus 10 is 10 plus 3t. You got to get all the letters on the left. So this 3t needs to be over here. Now, 2 ways you can look at it. You can subtract 3t from both sides, and that's actually what's going on. But if you're moving something from one side of the parentheses to the other, as long as you change the sign of it, you can do that. So if you subtract 3, if it's a plus 3t over here, it's a minus 3t over here. So 5t minus 3t would be 2t. Add 10 to both sides and do it all in one step. You subtract 3t, add 10, you get 20. And then last step, almost always your last step is going to be the division. You don't get rid of the constant or the coefficient on the variable until the very last step. So t would be 10. Check your solution. Put it back into the equation. Okay? 5 times 10 minus 2 is what? 10 minus 2.
8.
Okay? Is 5 times 8 equal to 10 plus, what's 3 times 10?
30. No. Wait, yes it is.
So is 10 plus 30 is what?
40.
40. Is 5 times 8 equal to 40?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it checks out. When you have a fraction as a coefficient, you need to multiply something that's going to give you 1g. So if you,
just add 3 plus 2?
no, you don't add because this is multiplication. You have to multiply by something that's going to give you, what's that going to give you? 10 over 10, which is 1. 1g. You got to do it to both sides. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 divided by 2 is negative 10. So the 3x doesn't change. Minus 7 doesn't change. The only thing we have to do is distribute this negative. It'll be a minus x plus 5. equals 0. And all the letters need to stay on the left. Okay? Let's combine our like terms first. All the terms that have the type, that are of the x type, we put them together. What do we get? 2x. All the constants, put them together, what do we get? 2. Now, we have 2 steps left. What do we do first? 2x is equal to, cancel to 0, and then divide last. X is 1. These parentheses are useless. There is nothing being multiplied on either side. This one, since the negative sign is on the left, that does affect everything that's in there. It makes minus 5, minus 3m. But when the minus sign is on the right, it's only applying to the 12. It doesn't apply to what's inside. And there's nothing to the left of those parentheses besides a positive implied 1. So you could just drop them off and end up with something like that. Trying to solve an equation. Before you start getting all the letters on the left and the numbers on the right, you need to simplify each side first. On the left, there are 3 pieces. I call them 3 terms. Maybe it'll make more sense. There are 3 pieces. There's a 5m, a negative 5, and a negative 3. So that would give me 2m. And then minus 5 still stays by what it is because there was nothing else of that type. Over here we do the same thing. We've got 1, 2, 3 pieces. The 2 that are of the same type, put together. 3 and the negative 12. Now that the left and the right are simplified, we can get all the letters on the left and all the constants on the right. So we're going to subtract m, and we can do this all in the same step. Add 5. Okay? And we get 0 here, 0 there. We're done.